Yo, 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 what is going on, everybody? Welcome to the Maxandjuancast. Max, how you doing tonight, my brother?
Doing good, man. Just watched two games of Monday Night Football, doubleheader. Not really a doubleheader, but ESPN's okay. Same thing next week. One surprise.
I
Just
know.
found that out.
Yeah. Uh,
Get it?
terrible, terrible. We back at it on not Sunday, but Monday night. Kind of worked out for us. They had two games today, but I was gone this weekend. Didn't get to watch closely most of the games. Got to watch my Raiders get their ass whooped. That's always good,
Nice,
right?
classic,
That's
classic.
it's always good. Got my sea legs under me. If you know, you know. Uh, if
Juan was hanging out with some seamen guys.
I knew you were gonna make some stupid shit out of that. All right, look.
You're the one you set yourself up, my boy.
If you guys are new to the channel, go ahead and hit that subscribe button, hit that like button, comment down below. Second show, look, I apologize last show if Max got cut off at times during the show. Still working out the OBS skills, still working out the new setup. Hopefully things run a lot smoother this episode, so just bear with us. Look, I don't think there's no other place to start, Max, than Monday Night Football. It's fresh in our brain. Cleveland ends up getting the dub 26-22 against the Cleveland Browns. Thoughts, Max?
Well, one, Cleveland beat Cleveland, according to you. So I'm going to let you try to rework that statement if you like.
Oh, Pittsburgh. Sorry. Pittsburgh. Jesus. It's
Cleveland got the
late.
dub.
It's late.
It's 9:45, guys. He's capping. He's capping. One needs to go to sleep. He's tired. Go to sleep. When I pick Cleveland to win this game, I would say that Nick Chubb injury is going to be something that really just hangs over their head. And again, I feel like we're watching a shell of the Deshaun Watson we fell in love with in Houston as a player. Just there's moments where you're like, damn, he broke 4 sacks. He broke out at like 3 different times of getting sacked, and then he just airmails a throw. This Cleveland team won. The defensive line I really like. Jim Schwartz always gets the best out of those guys, but they had a very winnable game in my opinion. 2 costly turnovers by Deshaun Watson. I think their defense scored 12 points, 14 points at 2 touchdowns.
Yeah.
So other than that, Pittsburgh, man, I thought higher of the Browns, and coming out of this week, I know they're not for real. And I think the same thing about Pittsburgh, where you fight and clawed to beat a crappy Browns team.
Look, I feel the opposite. Going into this game, I did think Cleveland was good, but I just thought Mike Tomlin staring down the barrel of 0-2, they were going to get the job done. The way that it happened, it's kind of crazy. Look, Nick Chubb, shout out to him, man. Prayers up for him because he fucked up his knee tonight, dude. It looked really
They wouldn't
ugly.
show it.
Yeah, they wouldn't show it. His knee was basically going the other direction it wasn't supposed to. All right. And he's arguably one of the best running backs in the league. And I do think that affected Cleveland tonight with them missing him. But their run game was really fucking good tonight without him, surprisingly. Ford was having some good runs, and Pierre Strong was in there getting some good runs in. But the defensive play for the Pittsburgh Steelers, Max, it was fucking amazing. And it wasn't just TJ Watt. It was
No, Alex Highsmith's a dog, man.
Highsmith, Mika Fitzpatrick, DeMonte Casey. All these guys were making plays for the Pittsburgh Steelers. 2 defensive touchdowns tonight, and TJ Watt getting his first career touchdown. And that's that Mike Tomlin grit. That's getting the power from Heinz Field, because the offense, besides Kenny Pickett, that big play to George Pickens, they weren't shit.
Pretty putrid.
Yeah, terrible. And I'm just going to go out and say this, Max. I think we have another Tony Pollard, Ezekiel Elliott thing going on with Najee Harris and Jaylen Warren. Jaylen Warren is a better running back than Najee Harris. It's pretty obvious. They need to give him the ball more. Najee Harris.
I would say you're right. I would say you're right based on what I saw. It's just I don't think they can run the scheme where Najee would shine, where you kind of have to give Najee some openings.
Yeah.
Najee's, I think, is the kind of guy where when there's something there, he'll make it a little better. But if there's nothing there, he's going to be like, oh, let me get you one. Instead of a guy like Jalen Warren, it's like, well, I can get you maybe 4 right now. Yeah. I think that's the big difference, one.
Yeah. And Pittsburgh saved its season. And Cleveland's still going to be
saved
good.
the season after going 0-1. Their season was on the fucking line, brother. Come on.
0-2, bro.
No, don't do that.
Can I throw the numbers at you? Can I throw the numbers?
I don't give a damn. That's all 16 game schedule.
I feel like you're going off of that because of the bum ass Chargers, because you want to get that argument that 0-2.
No. The Chargers are fighting for their life next week. 100%. That's a Minnesota and Chargers, 2 0-2 teams. Reminds me of the Cowboys and Vikings when they were both like 1-5. Like this is a loser must leave town match.
Well, the good thing about
after starting off 0-1, let's write them off.
No, if they would have started off 0-2, that's what I'm saying. For Pittsburgh, if they would have lost tonight,
man, we think that every year.
The good thing about Pittsburgh, Max, is that they play the Raiders next week. So if they would have lost this game, they would have for sure got a dub. Playing the Raiders. But
big.
I thought this saved the season for anything that needed to happen for Pittsburgh, for them making the playoffs or anything like that. That's how I felt. The good thing about it is that Kenny Pickett is still showing just enough for him not to be like a complete bust this year. Because at one point during that game, Max, were you thinking like, okay, bro, like you got to show us something. You got to do fucking something out here.
I was thinking that, and then he gets the completion to Pickett, which again, it's not like an all-world type of throw. It was kind of like hit him in stride. There was perfect call against the perfect coverage. It's funny how quarterbacks are perceived in the NFL, where I don't know if you've been like on social media or just listening to people are just crucifying Justin Fields and just ready to punt on him, and people are just coddling Pickett. And I get there's like a year difference, but it's just funny to me how social media, it's like people saying, why'd they pay Joe Burrow? Oh, I don't know. Why would you pay the guy who went to got you almost to 2 Super Bowls?
Yeah.
Yeah. So what, he has 2 bad weeks.
Yeah. Who's playing hurt?
Banged up. Yeah.
Let's talk about a controversial quarterback, because you missed last weekend when I was going off about Miami. Let's go ahead and hit them. Okay, Miami beats New England 24-17. This is not your daddy's Patriots, man. Straight up.
Dude, that Cole Strange almost made the Hall of Fame for like linemen. That was almost the greatest play I've ever seen. I feel like you got to give it to him right there. You just got to give him the spot. Like, he earned it. Like, F it. Like, homie rumbled through. But I thought Tua played a pretty great game. My big takeaway wasn't from Tua. It was about a corner we both loved coming out on the draft. But Tua, he played well. I think that offense is really, really something. Mike McDaniel's creative. Like, they have that RPO where Tyreek starts as like the tight end and sprints out. He's sprinting like laterally. He sprints out, and they do like a little wheel behind him with Jalen Waddle. And this is like a thing to the Chargers, like, hey, you might have a better talented quarterback, but they haven't surrounded him with better pieces than Miami. You can make the case Miami surrounded their middling quarterback with the most explosive players out there.
Why you got to throw shade at Tua like that, man?
Oh, that's not shade. That's not shade. That's just how I feel about him. That's my opinion.
Look,
it's like all those years with Jimmy G and San Fran. Like, hey, let's get him like 4 really good weapons, and he'll look even better. Like, no shit.
I thought Tua played really great. I think he's been one of the hottest quarterbacks in the league the last 2 weeks. And I know it's only 2 weeks, but I think a lot of people are hanging on to old draft narratives with Tua, and it happens to a lot of players, and I'm subject to that. Sometimes it just takes a while. For me, it was a guy in Josh Allen. It took me a while to rub that old draft analysis on him, and I think people are doing that with Tua. And to me, it's just hard to believe that like a guy like this, I know he has all the weapons, and I know he has Mike McDaniels, but he looks damn good. And that Patriots defense is really fucking good. It's really good, and it was really impressive. You've seen what they did to Jalen Hurts last week, and I'm gonna
disappointed in them, to be honest. About the running. they ran the ball all over the Patriots, which I
Yeah,
was shocked by.
and I think part of that though, Max, was them
Is
going
gearing up to stop the pass.
exactly. I think they were
Yeah,
like, "You're not gonna beat us with Tyreek Hill. We're not gonna get
they didn't.
destroyed like that."
They didn't.
Yeah,
In their defense, they did not.
yeah, yeah. And kind of a weird game for Bill. Uh, it's just ever since Tom has left, Tom Brady, the Patriots just have lost something. They've lost that Patriot feeling of getting calls, knowing what to do in tight
You didn't
situations.
think the Patriots got the feeling back after he missed that kick? Oh my God. Greatest blocked field goal of all time,
Yeah,
ever.
yeah.
I hope that's not just like a fluke. I hope that's like a real thing because that'd be
Mm-hmm.
cool to see. But no, that when he missed the kick to put him up 2 possessions and the Patriots got the ball back, I was like, of course. Like this is like Tom Brady drives down the field, he scores. And I have to say, like, there's parts of me that are impressed with Mac Jones. I think he's definitely looked better this year than last year. You can attribute that to maybe having an offensive guy call the plays instead of Matt Patricia.
Yeah,
But this Patriots offense still, you could just tell there's such a lack of explosion from pretty much everyone on their team. Like,
yeah.
who is
Juju looks
scary?
hurt. Juju looks hurt straight up.
Juju's fucking washed. But
Yeah.
whatever. I
And
digress.
and like another thing with Bill Belichick and the Patriots in general, like when have you ever known him to take a risk on a guy like Ezekiel Elliott who is fucking shot? He's shot. He's done. He's been done. Like to me, that's just such an
Every carry he
un-Patriot
gets
thing.
away from Ramondre, I'm like, why?
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 Exactly. Why?
Yeah.
And it just people think it's the Patriots of old, Bill Belichick, but don't get me wrong, he's a Hall of Fame coach. He's probably arguably one of the best head coaches of all time. But the last few years, it's been middling, bro. Like just weird shit going on. Be like, what? Why the fuck did we do this? Why did you give Matt Patricia these play calls and on and on and on? It's like you can't only just have a good defense, bro, and get along. Like you have to have a full team, and it just seems like ever since Tom has left, the offense has just been
Well,
fucking.
obviously, you lose your quarterback, and it's not just Tom left. I think this is something we don't talk about. Josh McDaniels left, the
Yeah,
architect of the offenses for decade upon decade. So now, yeah, it's a little struggle. You have a new rookie head coach, and hey, guys, any other quarterback, we would say this. We would make this excuse. Mac Jones, who was his first OC one? Do you know? Josh McDaniels.
was it McDaniels?
Yeah. Then he went to the Raiders. Who was his OC last year?
Matt Patricia,
Who's his OC this year?
Bill O'Brien.
Bill O'Brien.
Yeah,
Granted,
different.
it's very similar offenses, but just having that, not having the continuity, it hurts a player. We make the excuse for Justin Fields. We make the excuse for other quarterbacks just talking about, oh, it's his third OC in 4 different years. Hey, this happens. And I think Mac Jones is on the upward trajectory. I think the Patriots, I know they've lost 2 close games. I don't think they're out of it yet. Like, I know they're 0-2. I think I have a lot more confidence in them 0-2 to make some noise than a couple of the other 0-2 teams.
I'm pretty sure they play the Jets next week. If they lose to the Jets,
that's
I'm
a
out.
very nice game. Yeah, 100%. You can't lose to the Jets.
Yeah. We'll see, man. Look, I think Miami's one of the best teams in the league, though. They look fucking awesome, bro. They really do. As a whole, like Vic
Wow.
Fangio has
So when you
been
go to
huge.
Miami, are you gonna wear your fucking Heat jersey, buddy, or what? Come on, brother, take it out, man.
They are though. They're one of the
that's
best
Raider
teams.
shit behind you. I just want to remind you, brother. It's not Miami gear. All right, I just want to remind you where your loyalty lies.
Yeah. Okay, let's
I
go.
know we got palm trees in LA, but brother, come on, brother.
Let's go into a big game that we saw. I was wrong about this one. Kansas City winds up beating Jacksonville 17-9. Just an ugly game. And the Chiefs defense, man, they fucking came out to fucking play. Chris Jones back in full effect, shown why he's been missed.
He's done nothing, and he just comes out and balls.
Oh my gosh.
He had a bad pass. I'm like, isn't that just amazing one? How this guy can just get off his couch. And granted, I'm sure he's working out and staying in shape, but there's a difference between being in shape and being in NFL game shape, and he was kicking ass all day. I would say he was a bigger reason than Mahomes for their win almost. I would almost make that case because he was effing up the Jacksonville Jaguars.
Yeah, and all the people that were missing for the Chiefs on Thursday night for the opener, Travis Kelce and Chris Jones, they both came out to play, man. I know Kelce didn't have that many yards, but he had a touchdown,
He had some timely yards, some very timely yards.
Yeah, and you got to hand it to the Chiefs, man. They still got 15 right when you think that, they're on the ropes and, they got Jacksonville this week and they can lose 0-2. No, they still got Mahomes and they still got Andy Reid, and they buckled up and they fucking handle business on the road. And as for the Jags, I don't think the Jags are bad. I don't think I'm going to, say that, they got beat here, they're not legit. I think they're legit. It's just there's still a lot of work to do for them. And it's a long season. They were this close from having an opportunity to tie that game. Calvin Ridley had a play in the back of the end zone, couldn't get his feet in. And it's just plays like that you have to make. But one thing to watch with the Jacksonville Jaguars that has shown the last 2 weeks, the offensive line. It's been pretty bad when interior pressure. DeForest Buckner ate last week, and Chris Jones ate this week. And that's the one thing that scares me with the Jags. They can have all the weapons in the world. Their defense can be really good. But if you don't have a good offensive line, your quarterback's either going to get hurt or you're going to wind up giving up games like you just did last week. Or this week, should I say.
Scherf's banged up one. And if I was a Jacksonville fan, you make the case, well, it's Chris Jones and DeForest Buckner. These are two of the top-notch guys at their position. But next week they play Houston. That's a very nice game to have coming off a loss to the Chiefs.
Yeah.
You can get right. But their O-line is a question mark. They lost Jawaan Taylor, who I have not been impressed with on the Chiefs side of things. He's getting a lot of false starts. He holds. Trayvon Walker was effing him up a little bit. But there's question marks on the O-line for both teams, I would say.
Yeah.
Now, the interior three for Kansas City you feel pretty good about. But Donovan Smith and Jawaan Taylor, not high on them one, not high on Jacksonville's interior. I'm with you. 100%. They got to clear those up because you got two of the best quarterbacks in the game. You need to keep them clean.
Absolutely right. Speaking of one of the best quarterbacks in the league, Josh Allen, who had a bounce back week, perfect get right game, 38-10. Vegas goes down. My team. Some of the stats
they're playing for their season next week, guys. They're playing for their season.
Who, the Raiders?
Oh, yeah.
No, they won against the Broncos. They're fine. They're fine. They're fine. Okay, look, some of the stats from this one. Jimmy G, absolutely putrid, besides that first drive of the game. But I think the main story here, man, is the Buffalo Bills. I think for them to handle business like that against the Raiders, and you can argue, hey, it's the Raiders, they suck. I get that. And anyone that's talking shit though, Max, if you guys watched the show last week, I picked the Bills to win by a good amount.
Yeah, but he had it close.
I did not have it close. Shut up. I did not have it close. It wasn't that close.
It was a 2-touchdown affair, guys. let me tell you what he had right now.
Maybe I was a touchdown off or two,
or like several.
I'm pretty sure I had him scoring 30 though.
31-24, guys. It was down to the wire. Oh, get the fuck out of
here. I gave the Raiders a couple extra points than more than I should have. But look, man, I think all those things that I said last week, though, it showed. The defensive line was terrible. It was Max Crosby or bust. And when you have a guy like Josh Allen that can run around and make plays, it's a disaster for a defensive line who just can't create pressure like that. And the cornerback showed today, like Jacorian Bennett got fucking done up, the rookie.
You're like, just wait.
He got done up, bro. And I think last week of the Raiders winning was more of the dysfunction of the Denver Broncos, who we'll get into next.
Well, why don't we talk about that? I'd like to talk about that.
Yeah,
because, man, dude, Russ almost rode. He almost rode. He got up on that horse. He saddled up. he got like 2 yards and the course kicked him off, man. When he threw the pick one, when he threw the Hail Mary, I was like, let him cook. And like, I don't know if you thought this. I was like, there's no fucking way they get this 2-point conversion. And Russ missed Jerry Judy, who was crossing, and they did a little like a pick, wide open. And I'm just like, first of all, it's bad enough that it was 21-3, and you guys just smoked the game. It was so bad. Like, you're 0-2, and you go play Miami in Miami. You better hope to God you catch Miami coming off like a high. Like, you really got to hope, because this Denver team won. I'm with you. There's pieces everywhere, but there's no cohesiveness. And you can talk all the shit, Sean Payton, about Nathaniel Hackett. You really you don't have a leg to stand on.
Yeah,
because you're 0-2 too, buddy.
I'm glad that we're on the same page now. I hate to say it, but I called it.
Let him cook.
Let him cook. Let him cook. He was cooking. He was cooking some good grade A fucking.
That's the best. That's the hottest he's been in like 2 years.
Yeah,
that was not bad of Russ. That wasn't bad. Russ, I guess if you're a Broncos fan, it's the only thing you take away. But you're up 21-3. Chase Young looked really good one. I don't know what you thought. Mm-hmm. I think it's a very interesting guy to talk about because he doesn't have the 5th-year option coming up. This was a guy we had as an untouchable after his rookie year.
Yeah.
Missed all of last year, basically. You have any thoughts on Chase Young?
Look, I got to rewatch the game a little bit more. Like I said, this was one of those afternoon games that I didn't get to catch as much. I want to go back and watch the film and look at him closely. But he's one of these guys where if Washington can end up getting anything out of him like they did this week.
But why is the stock so low, Juan?
Because of the injuries. Because of the injuries.
But what led a really great rookie year? You get hurt basically twice, and then it's like, oh, the guy can't play dead. What happened? Like, I'm just curious because
it's Washington. It's Washington too, though. They're dysfunctional.
Stink on him?
Yes.
Well, they were. They were. I have to give it to them. Like the new ownership, I'm not going to put the blame on them.
Yeah.
But okay, Chase Young, he played 15 games, then he played 9, then 2 or 3, really. Then he got hurt, but he made an All-Pro team as a rookie. Like, this guy is good at football. Like, let's not write him off, man. I haven't liked what I've been hearing like regarding Chase Young. Like, he can't play dead. Like, this guy is like a Raiders pass rusher or something.
Hey. Max Crosby's a Raider pass rusher too, man.
Yeah, but like the other guy. Cleveland. He in Cleveland.
He ain't Chandler Jones, But look, man, I completely agree. I would hope to say that it was the Washington like ownership, them not knowing what they have, and hopefully this new ownership sees that, hey, we got ourselves a fucking franchise player right here. And this is a guy that can wreak havoc. And those guys are hard to come by. And we need to put some more stock into him. And hopefully he earns that extension. Because this week he showed it. And I'm excited to see him on film on the All-22. See what he's doing out there. As far as what I wanted to say about Denver.
Please.
You see, you got to take the 0-2 in context here. In like the Raiders situation.
Well, the Raiders are playing for their season.
I know, but look, Max. They had 2 road games to start off the season. Okay?
Oh, I know. The NFL tried.
They tried. But look,
like, hey,
at the end of the day, you take 1-1. You take the split. But these teams like New England, these teams like Pittsburgh and Denver, all 3 of those teams had back-to-back home games to start off the season. You have to win one. You have to go 1-1. You have to split. You can't go 0-2. And that's what scares me about that. Yeah, especially Denver. You know how it is in September, baby. That high altitude is hard to play in Denver, man. And the NFL tried.
They tried their best, the NFL. They're like, here's the sorry-ass Raiders. You guys can win that one. You'll lose to Washington.
Yep.
We'll go into the Dolphins 1-2, 1-1. You'll feel good.
Yeah.
Not looking good for them, man.
And I'm going to say this one more time. Sean Payton did not come there because of Russ. This thing is not going to go anywhere until Sean Payton gets his guy at quarterback. I don't care what anyone says. Russ is not the guy for Denver. I'm not saying that he's done and he's not going to be on another team and not do good.
That's pretty much saying one without saying he's done, dude.
No. As he's done with the Broncos, but I don't think.
No. I'm saying that's pretty much saying he's cooked. If he can't get it done with Sean Payton, come on, brother.
Yeah,
Sean Payton was winning 9 games with fucking Jameis and
Taysom, baby. But I don't see Russ working out with Denver, man. Go to another team. Go to the Jets. Hey, why not? Hey, what about that little hot take there?
Oh yeah, I don't know because they can't afford it. Maybe there's a thing called
cut Rodgers, man. Get rid of him. Cut with Zach Wilson.
Where to next?
All that fucking shit. Let's go to New York, man. We got fucking trampled by the Dallas Cowboys, 30-10. Look, man, Zach Wilson, he's not it. He had 3 interceptions in this game. The main thing to talk about.
I want to push back right now. I want to have this little topic. Last year, we saw the Green Bay Packers offense look pretty crappy, right?
Yeah.
And what did it lack? It lacked high-end playmakers, which the Jets have one, and Garrett Wilson. They have a good running back, which Rodgers had. But last year, the Packers' O-line was not good. They were banged up. I was thinking about this all day. I had a little argument with Dak saying, I don't want to be that guy who just comes in the show and is like, oh, the whole Zach Wilson lost in that fucking game. Dallas pressured him 55% of the time. I don't know what quarterback does great when they're getting pressured every other drop back. But would these problems not be happening with Rodgers? Like you're telling me if Rodgers plays, sure, he's going to carve him up a little bit more. But the type of pressure Dallas was getting, it was like, oh my God, no quarterback is going to stand there and be able to do anything when Micah really stunted, full sprint, untouched, popped him. That would happen with Rodgers. Why did Rodgers get hurt, Juan? The shitty O-line play. Yeah. I have a hard time thinking. Obviously, Zach Wilson's not a great quarterback, guys. I'm not defending him. I'm just saying last year, let's not act like Aaron Rodgers was carving up everybody, and the Packers were 15-1 last year. They were struggling themselves. That's my 2 cents in the whole Jets thing.
My whole thing is this: you have 2 great running backs, and you stop running the football. And I understand you were down early, but you got to keep. They weren't
running the football that well when they were running though. Dallas's front's for real.
Yeah, but what do you expect? What do you expect to happen when you have a bad offensive line? Because you learned that last week. Okay, and then you go out there and you throw it that many times. And I know part of it. We'll get into this later, but Micah Parsons is fucking amazing. But on the Jet side, it's like something needs to happen. And
it wasn't like when Tom Brady went to Tampa and you're like, they have a really good O-line. They have Ali Marpet. They have Tristan Wirfs. They have Jensen.
They hit the lottery with Tristan Wirfs.
They don't have one good offensive lineman. Not one good one. I like as much as I want to root for Becton one. Do you see him being anything above average at this point in his career?
Those injuries look like they really took a toll on him. And part of it though,
a guy we loved.
Part of it though, Max, he's playing right tackle. That's a big deal. He's not. That's hard. That's hard.
But it's like 3 years of injury, playing a new position. Elijah Vera Tucker, one guy we really liked coming out of USC. There's moments you like him, and then Dwayne Brown.
Shot.
He's too old.
He's shot.
Yeah, man. I just think if Rodgers was there, it wouldn't be the show on the turf we're thinking it'd be, where he's just dicing up everybody. Because, hey, Green Bay last year wasn't on fire with Rodgers, and they had a better O-line than the Jets did. They had just as good of playmakers.
Yeah.
So that's my 2 cents. Dallas looks for real. I got to give props to Mike McCarthy. That was a great game plan. Don't let Dak do too much. It's like 31 for 38-1. That's not getting it done. Sauce is getting torched again. Sauce is still good.
Sauce is still pretty good, man. A lot of that shit from CeeDee Lamb came when Sauce wasn't on him. But fuck everything about the Cowboys but one thing. Micah Parsons.
Okay.
I think we had this conversation last year.
Is he a Hall of Famer? Yeah, give him a jacket.
Size him up. Give him a fucking jacket right now. He is
Jack, tune in right here so you can
Who's the last player, Max? Who's the last player in recent memory that you can remember as this dominant? Like, the first guy that comes to mind to me is JJ Watt. Is he better than what JJ Watt showed that dominant year he won defense player when he was catching?
I can't say yet. Not yet. I can't say he was better than you don't want to say Nick Bosa. I'm just naming guys. I don't necessarily agree.
Most recent guys. Yeah.
Nick Bosa, anything in there? He came in as a rookie, was really good. I think he tore his ACL the second year, right? And didn't play much.
Yeah.
I will say this. There's nobody who makes more highlight plays from the edge position than Micah. One, I don't know if you can show the play I'm referring to when this comes out. Show the play where he stunted. It was like un-effing believable because he's so fast. Because he's like a running back.
Yeah.
Like, he's so athletic. And then I don't know if you saw when he picked up the fumble, Alan Lazard comes sprinting up to tackle him and he jukes him. I was like, dude, this guy's un-effing believable. Yeah. He is a game wrecker. I don't know what to say. Like, what's his weakness, really?
Yeah.
What's his weakness? It's not speed. And you might say, oh, he's not that powerful. But when he gets going that fast, the power is there.
Yeah. And
it's unbelievable. It's really.
I know Dallas fans are going crazy right now. And do you feel like this year feels different? Because we're non-Cowboy fans. Because, you got Cowboy fans. There's no middle here.
I can't say it feels different until I see them mess up a really good team as it right now. Look.
We're going to find out when they play the Niners. That's when we're going to find out.
So we're going to transition in a second, guys. So they played the Giants week 1. For 3 quarters, I was like, oh, my God, the Giants might really suck this year. They were down 20-0 on the Arizona Cardinals. Yeah. They destroyed a Jets team that obviously is – you can say whatever they want. Obviously, their spirit's a little broken. That's just human nature. You lose your starting quarterback who's supposed to change everything. It's going to hurt. Correct one? How did the Raiders respond when Derek Carr got hurt?
Yeah. Shitty. Terrible.
Yeah. And now, 1, 2, strap in. They're playing the Cardinals this week, Dallas. I can't say it feels different, but I'll say this. They're taking care of business. They're not making these close games. Like, if Arizona comes out and it's close for like 3 quarters, I'll be like, this is the same old Dallas. If Dallas comes out, I'm like, all right, you're building in that right direction where I take you for real.
Yeah.
But again, so you play the 49ers, the Eagles. If they came out and smacked the Eagles up, I'd be like, oh, shit.
Right.
Yeah.
Because that's who's still in the way. I mean, we got to see them against the
I think
top
it's 49ers,
dogs.
Eagles, still top dogs in the NFC.
Yeah, most definitely.
49ers look more impressive than the Eagles right now. But let's go to the Giants one for a second because we'll stay at the New York theme. And what a game.
Yeah.
What a freaking game.
31-28. Cardinals started off this game 20-0. And at one point, they were up 21, even after the Giants scored.
By the way, it wasn't even like, 3 fumbles in a row. It was like they're dotting up the Giants defense.
Yes. Giants
can't move the ball. The Giants throw pick. And then when they got down 20-0, I think it clicked. Like, Dayball, Wink, Daniel Jones, obviously Saquon. And I know it sucks to lose them, but that might have saved their season, this win. Like, this is the team really.
This saves the season.
No. Shut the fuck up.
Oh, this one, because of you. Because you said it.
It wasn't like, oh, my God, before the game they're playing for their season. When you're down 20-0 to the worst team in football,
you're playing for your season.
Quarter, you're playing for the fucking season. And shout out to Jalen Hyatt, my boy, number 1 receiver, showing out his one skill of being fast. I love to see it.
Yeah.
But, by the way, Darren Waller, you look stupid wearing 12. You're not Dwight Howard in his prime.
I honestly hate all the numbers for the fucking Giants receivers and tight ends. I just think they all look pretty dumb. I don't mind
the single digits for receivers, but 12 at tight end looks stupid.
Why is Paris Campbell wearing 0? Like, you're not a player that should be wearing 0. Like,
No, you got to be a dog
Stop.
4-0.
Thank you.
Yeah.
And then Jalen Hyatt, you're not Odell. You're not Odell, my guy.
Oh no, I think they did that like F you, Odell. I like that one.
Look, man. Shout out to the Giants and Daniel Jones. I have him in fantasy, man. So part of me, I'm riding with him this season. So I feel it with you Giants fans, but he looked awful. The Giants looked awful at some point in that game when they were down 20-0. Bless you, Max.
Excuse me. Thank you.
And it was a really bad sight. Really bad. And for them to get on their fucking high horse and buckle up and save the fucking season like that, it takes big fucking balls. And that's why there's a difference between great head coaches and average head coaches. Because to me, that was Dayball. I don't know what was said in that locker room, but something fucking turned that team around. And on the Cardinals side, shout out to them. The last 2 weeks, they have looked a lot better than what I expected. Their defense is not bad. Their offense, like Joshua Dobbs was making plays out there, Max. Did you see the run that he had going into the end zone, running over fucking dudes? Like, my man's ran over McKinney to get into the end zone. Like,
oh, my God.
He was doing really good, man. They got Marquise Brown and James Conner was running really
played
hard.
a hell of a game, man.
They did. They did.
They pewtered out.
Yeah, hopefully this loss doesn't, like, just get their confidence. Yeah, kill them, and they wind up being the Cardinals that me and you expected. I hope they're a tough fight the whole season because they're like annoying to handle. And on the Saquon side, fuck, this sucks, man. But to piggyback on Max's point back in August, whenever we did that preview about the running backs, this is why you don't pay him. This is why. And I know he dodged major injury, Max, but this is exactly why. It's like at any point, these guys can just go down and get hurt. Nick Chubb tonight.
Nick Chubb.
Saquon. Austin Eckler. It's just like guys are going down like flies.
It's almost like the NFL put a hit out on the guys on the call. Like, hey, man. Hey, boys talking too much. We got to. No, yeah. It does suck. Again, huge win for the Giants. Really impressed with what I saw.
No.
Arizona, like you said, needs to be a tough fight. I don't like the Giants' chances next week. You had the 49ers as your sole pick of the week.
I was
Were
scared.
You feeling a little scared?
I was a little bit. But some of the things that you've seen from the Niners was just absolutely dominant. 30-23. Puka Nacua. He's here to stay. I know he hasn't scored a single touchdown, but 15 catches for $147. My guy has arrived.
Oh, yeah. Dude, when Cooper Kupp comes back, obviously his production will go down. But is he not proven to be a valuable commodity as a rookie?
Yeah, 100%.
He's humongous. He's 6'5". I really like his game. Can I get a little props on Kyron Williams? Do I get any love for that pick?
Oh, mad love. I seen him.
Come on.
Yeah. He did what he did in Notre Dame, catching the ball a lot. He didn't have a bunch of yards rushing, but he was a big factor in the pass game. And to me, Max, this Niners team, though, I think this is the main story. When they're all healthy, and I know it's tough to say that because they're rarely all healthy.
Debo got banged up a couple times in this game.
Debo looked amazing. CMC looked amazing. Purdy
wasn't even that sharp today. I think he missed a few things.
Yeah. And their defense it's still good. They get turnovers.
I really want to commend the Rams, though. They were in this game.
Mm.
They were really.
They're going to be a hassle. They're going to be a hassle this year.
I almost want to say just from what I've seen in 2 games, they might sneak in.
They might be what we thought of the Seahawks last year.
Yeah, maybe this is like, yeah, exactly. Yeah. I think you might be right, Juan.
Yeah. Yeah. Very impressive by the Rams. Stafford is still really good. I think the whole thing about Stafford that threw me off with the Rams was the whole elbow thing. That elbow thing just scared the shit out of me. And it sounded like his career was over.
Still got it, though.
Yeah.
Still got it. Like, there's still throws where you're like, I'm only using him as an example. I'm not trying to hate. I would be like, damn, there's throws like guys like Tua, Daniel Jones. Like they just can't put that much velocity on the ball and zip it in there.
Yeah.
And that's no shade. That's just the talent of Matthew Stafford.
Yeah.
Like all-time great type of guy.
Right. Let's talk about Seattle. Let's stick in the NFC West, who probably had one of the biggest wins of the week, 37-31. Overtime in this one. And I don't know who's the bigger story. Is it the Seahawks buckling up, or the Lions kind of low-key finally folding and showing why Jared Goff has never been liked by either of us? That pick six, that's the Jared Goff we knew. And I know it's been a minute since we've seen it, but finally it came out because I think he had the record going for consecutive passes without an interception.
They were jinxing him. They were jinxing him all game though. They were like, "Oh yeah, Jared Goff, it might happen."
Yeah.
I'm a little surprised by a couple things from this game. One, the lack of Jamar Gibbs getting, and the runs they call for him, I don't get why. Everything's like a sweep. Everything's like outside zone. It's never like, hey, you can run up the middle this time. You'll be okay. I get you have guys like David Montgomery. Amon-Ra St. Brown's still good.
Who got hurt?
Goff struggled.
Just FYI.
Yeah.
David
I think
Montgomery.
he has turf toe.
Yeah.
Oh, sorry, David Montgomery. Yes, correct. The one thing I'm not happy with the Detroit Lions is that pass defense. I thought Geno Smith, and you could pull up the stats and show him, he must have been like 30 for like 35. He was just guys were open. DK, Tyler Lockett. You see a little bit of Jackson Smith. You see Noah Fant. They really didn't even run the ball that well. Like Detroit's run defense was good, but as a Detroit fan, I don't hang my hat on this loss. Seattle's a good team. They made the playoffs last year. They're no joke. They're a good football team.
No. That's one of those week one kind of things. You know, that's what we base it off of. And Seattle was a dead fucking corpse last week against the Rams. And they came out. They showed out. Tyler Lockett, a guy that you have to look at for Seattle in big moments. He came out to play 2 touchdowns in 2 crucial moments. 2 nice ones, too. And Geno responded. It's just crazy about Geno. It still amazes me how a guy like him just got his career back on track. And now he's expected. Like, that's expected of him, what he did in this game. And it's crazy to think about that. But
he looks like the guy we saw at West Virginia and we wanted to see, and Jets fans wanted to see. And it just shows that, you know, for people out there who are rooting against Tua, present, guys who think Zach Wilson's a bum, guys who think Trey Lance is a bum, present again. That one maybe. There's a chance that these guys give them 7 years, and they could be something really special. I'm not saying there's 8 Geno Smiths out there, but it's kind of like the Victor Oladipo.
Yeah.
Where he became that all-star and it was like, fuck, finally, right? Like, damn, like he just kept his head down and worked. And Geno Smith became an elite, I wouldn't say an elite, but an above average where the Jets would be like, please, please come back.
Yeah.
And just shout out to him, man. He's really good at football. He's really good.
To me, Max, the whole Geno thing, I think it just shows like how many factors you have to play in to these players. You know, offensive coordinator.
Can we transfer this into Justin Fields? Because people are really turning on him.
Yeah.
And don't get me wrong, there's problems, There's a lot of times I'm like, motherfucker, throw it. It's been 5 seconds. Like, this is Madden levels. You got to, even in Madden, you got to throw it by now, bud. And he just pats the ball. And then you see a throw where, I don't know if you saw his touchdown to cut it to like a 1-possession game he threw where it was just like zing. But how do you feel about Justin Fields after 2 weeks? Like, people are saying he might not be the quarterback to end the year. And that, to me, would be shocking. Absolutely shocking.
What gets me, Max, is that the way that it's not the mistakes. It's the way he's making the mistakes. It's like, I don't give him much flack on the screen pass. I think that one was just a fucking phenomenal play by Shaq Barrett.
Absolutely. That is the least thing I would care about from that game. It was like, you know, I didn't like his response of blaming the OC for the play call. Like, hey, bro, you also could have thrown it differently. You could have not thrown it. It's not just him.
Yeah.
But continue, please. I'm sorry.
Yeah. But some of the throws and some of the decisions that he does, it is boneheaded. Like by year 3, you're supposed to get those gimme type of plays, and he doesn't take them. It's like, he's open, Justin. He's open. Hit him. Hit him. I'm not going to hit him. I'm going to run around. I'm going to try to make something happen.
Yeah, and people are really pointing like, oh, this guy's open. This guy's open. He could throw it. It's like people miss all the time.
Mm-hmm.
But like I would say, out of those 6 sacks, I might have seen 3 or 4 that are on him alone for padding that ball, not getting rid of it. Yeah. And hey, maybe the short pass game from the Bears isn't that good, but it's sometimes Justin Fields, you have to have that internal clock. Like, you're not Superman.
Yeah. Yes. And Vince Young kind of had this where just boneheaded mistakes at times and not taking the gimmies. Take them. A guy who has this problem till this day is Josh Allen. He does not take the gimme plays, and he tries to play Superman all the time, and that's what I see in Fields a lot. And I'm not saying that Fields is going to turn into Josh Allen, anything like that. I just feel like the Bears at this point, I don't care how bad it gets with Justin Fields, there's no way in hell that you should bench him. No fucking way.
That's the worst possible
this
thing.
This whole Chicago thing, since the start of the season, Max, I've seen right through it. Their defense is not that good. Their playmakers, yes, they have DJ Moore. I know he's been great in Carolina, but that's it. Chase Claypool, like, no, he's not a guy that you can rely on. Like, their running back, they lost David Montgomery. Like, they got Khalil Herbert, Roshan Johnson, maybe rookie. They don't have all the talent in the world for Justin Fields to succeed. They're just not there yet.
No, O-line's not that great either. In their defense, they had some good moments, but it's just not there. It's not like Tua. It's like you don't have Tyreek Hill, Justin Jefferson out there. Yeah. Let's pump the brakes on that.
Right, and I completely agree with you, Max. As far as like some guys getting treated different than others, some guys get criticized a lot more than others. I 100% agree with that.
Oh, Justin Fields, the whole draft process was criticized so much more than anyone else.
Yeah.
Anyone else.
Yeah. And I'm going to end it off with this. No way in hell you bench Justin Fields. You play him the whole season. I don't care what the record is. You play him the whole season as long as he's healthy.
Correct.
All right. Let's go to Green Bay and Atlanta. This was a great one. Atlanta showed some real fucking grit here. And the Green Bay didn't look half.
Win?
They win. I think this was a Bijan Robinson come out party.
Did you watch the game?
Yes.
For like a quarter and a half, did they not have like the worst offense you've ever seen in like NFL?
Yes.
Where it was like, okay, we'll drop back. Ritter will just throw it anywhere. Who knows? And dude, their defense won them this game. They were getting short fields left and right, Green Bay, and they could not do anything with it.
Yeah.
They really couldn't. Like, hey, Jordan Love had 3 touchdowns. He threw for 150 yards. How often you see that one? Yeah. How often do you ever see that?
Jordan, hey, look, Jordan Love is here to stay. Jordan Love is good.
Oh, yeah. I'm so impressed by him.
Yeah, he is good. And I'm going to pat myself on the back because he was my number one. I'm pretty sure he was my number 1 or number 2 quarterback coming out that year. And people thought I was crazy. Joey, people thought I was fucking insane.
Bum.
But he's come out, and I love what I've seen from him. I can't wait to really break down the film of this one of Jordan Love because he's one of these guys that I think will be a good MJC original video to do if he keeps on succeeding. But on the Atlanta Falcons side, Bijan Robinson, the 4th down play, that's why you draft the guy. I felt like that was one of the winning moments of this game was the 4th down call, and Bijan makes the guy miss, gets the 1st down. Like, that's the difference right there, why you draft this guy. And I felt like they took off the handcuffs this week and gave him a lot more usage instead of Tyler Algier, and it paid off. And Ritter, he's on the brink. He's on the brink right
Dude,
now
he's
of
so
being
bad.
like, I fucking hate you, but you're doing just enough for me
Oh yeah,
to have
every
some
week it's
hope.
just enough. You can't bench them when they win.
Yeah, you
One,
can't.
just to put in perspective, quarterback class of 2020: Burrow, Tua, Herbert,
Yeah.
and
And if
Jordan
I
Love.
can remember, it was Burrow for me, number one, and then Jordan Love. I had him because I wasn't a big Tua.
Jalen Hurts too's in that class.
Yeah, Jalen Hurts was in that class, but I remember I wasn't sold on Herbert, and Tua was the injuries for me because he was coming out. He had that
Oh no,
hip
yeah, you were a
injury.
big hater on Herb,
Yeah,
Big Herb.
yeah. So Jordan Love, shout out to him. That draft class looking really fucking good. It's actually kind of
Really
crazy.
good.
Yeah. Let's move on to that draft class. Let's hit the Chargers. 24-27, 0-2
Oh my
start for the
god,
Chargers.
they're so bad. They really lost it again. They lost this game. They are up 14-0 or 12-0 or some weird score. Then you know what? They give up an 80-yard bomb to Traylon Burks. One, I'm so disappointed with this team. The offense is okay. Again, where's Quentin Johnson one? We heard all this hype about him. Barely see him make an impact out there. Justin Herbert, again, he just keeps producing, but they can't. They just can't win. They just do. And I think in the third quarter they had 2 3rd and 15s where they're like, "Oh, let me face mask. Oh, let me rough the quarterback."
Yeah.
And that's shit. That's coaching. That's shit. That's lack of discipline. That shit that cost coaches their job.
Yep.
Hey, they're playing the 0-2 Vikings. They lose this game in bad fashion. I almost want to say it's time for Staley to get the F out. Um, man, Keenan Allen and Mike Williams are good, but again, there's there's nothing dynamic about them. I hate to say that, but do you agree with the fact that who do you throw the ball to on a slant and you're like, oh shit, on this team? No one. No, they don't get separation. Like Mike Williams has always got a guy on his back. You ever seen him open?
Right.
Not really.
Yeah.
Keenan Allen, yeah, he gets open underneath. But where's the speed element? And hey, I don't think they win this game with Eckler one. I think this game plays out the exact same effing way.
Yeah. One thing I think Quentin Johnson is that guy for him. I just think they're using him wrong. They're trying to throw jump balls to him. What was our number
He's
one?
Not that.
What was our number one
that.
problem? What was our number one problem with him in college? It's like
he's
this
6'5", but he's never physical.
Yeah, he's Demaryius Thomas. You need to give him the ball in space, and he can be that guy that you're describing. That guy that can take a fucking slant to the house. That's how I feel about Quentin Johnson, and they're not using him like that. They need to switch it up. Look, the offensive line looked really bad at the end. They got fucked up. Like Rashawn Slater got absolutely destroyed by Harold Landry on that last fourth down play to sack Justin Herbert. And
yeah, like dude, they get the ball. I look away and it's 4th and 10. I'm like, you couldn't get a fucking yard. Yeah. You might as well go for it because if they get the ball, they're gonna win.
And the big thing about it is this year I thought, hey, Keenan Allen shouldn't be that guy to carry them on his back like he's been doing these last 2 weeks. This Keenan Allen shouldn't be doing this. I think that's a problem in itself. The guys who should be taking the workload is Mike Williams and Quentin Johnston.
Number one corners shouldn't be guarding Keenan Allen anymore.
Yeah.
Like he's still. If you want Keenan Allen, like you want someone who's so scary, it's like, oh shit, we're playing the Dolphins. David Howard's lined up on Quentin Johnson just to make sure he doesn't ruin the game.
Right.
And now Keenan can eat, but it's the easiest 100 yards he's ever gotten in his whole career.
Exactly. Yeah.
And there's been a couple reports about people, and I hate this talk about this, but it irks me so much. Justin Herbert is fucking elite. He's a really good quarterback.
Yeah.
You know what? So many of his clutch moments have come when that team's down by shooting themselves on the fucking foot because their coach is stupid. You might notice something. I have not made one excuse for Staley. No. Not one. I'm done. I have no excuse to give him. You cost your team. You go for it on 4th when you could take field goals all the time. You lost by a fucking field goal. I'm going to go to the drives, Juan. Look, let me just point this out. Hey, they had a turnover on downs. Oh, what do you know? Oh, yeah. Who would have guessed, Juan? turnover on downs by the Chargers in the other team's vicinity.
Yeah.
Oh, they're so dumb. They're so dumb. Oh, they're in field goal range. Oh, let's get a penalty real quick to back us up.
No.
Like, dude, you saw the throw that Justin Herbert made to Keenan Allen after he got like face masks and shit.
Yeah.
Like,
it's not at this point. It's not Justin Herbert's fault. I'm excited to see the Chargers without Staley. The defense just pisses me off. They really do because they have so much talent.
Corners? Do they have anyone who can?
They should. There's no reason why.
I honestly won. I think Asante Samuel's not the type of corner you leave on an island ever.
No, you don't. And with J.C. Jackson, like he was a good fucking player before he went to fucking L.A. To me, it's like the great coaches, they coach around what they have. To me, I feel like Stanley, the scheme is better than the talent. And that cannot be the case. You have to be able to fit your players.
You mean the talent's the scheme better than the scheme, you mean?
Yeah, it's not about the scheme. It's about the talent. That's what I'm saying.
And they don't even have the talent where like the Eagles, the Super Bowl year was like, oh no, they got like all pros everywhere. They don't really have that.
No.
Oh, they're just the most disappointing team.
Who they got next week, Max?
Are the Vikings. It's 0-2 and 0-2.
Oh my God, that's
a huge game.
That's gonna be something to watch.
It's honestly a case of, and I'll talk about the Vikings. Eagles probably should have lost that game. Maybe should they were turning the ball over so effing much. It should have been a blowout.
It should have been, but I think that was
Madison fumbles. Justin Jefferson. Hey guys, it's not the worst rule. It's a known fucking rule. Deal with it.
No.
Be careful. It happens once every 3 years, and we hate the rule. Big deal.
Yeah.
Kirk Cousins fumbles. They are just bad. They are bad, man. They are just bad at taking care of the football. The Chargers and the Vikings.
Yeah. That's gonna be. Where's that in? It's in L.A. or Minnesota.
Minnesota. Well, it doesn't matter. So an away game either way for the Chargers.
Yeah, I'm excited to see that 0-3 start by either team. All right, let's move on to the last game of the recap. All right, Colts 31, Texans 20. This one, I'm low key under the table, Max. I'm excited to rewatch, and I seen most of Anthony Richardson in the first quarter, and I think he'll be fine. He'll be absolutely fine. He had a concussion. I don't think it looked that bad. Did it?
No. He got popped.
You think so?
And when you go back and watch, it was a moment in my mind where he was like, fuck this guy. Like, I'm 6'5". Like, he's going to score. Like, he could have not got popped.
Yeah.
He got popped and whiplashed his head into the ground. But as soon as it happened, I was like, oh, he's going to be concussed. He might have a concussion. And it was, I think it's a learning moment where he's like, oh, he could have protected himself in that moment, is my point.
Mm-hmm.
Because he saw the end zone. He was like, I don't care. I'm good. I'm sick. I mean, he's Superman, right? He's 6'4",
right.
250. Nothing can hurt him. CJ Stroud threw for like 300 plus yards. It was a crazy part for me to witness how often he's surrounded by people. Like, I had a little bit more hope for this Houston line. And the Colts aren't the craziest pass rushing team in the NFL.
Yeah. I want to go back and I want to see what this kid's doing the last 2 weeks, because I heard some different opinions on it, people that I respect their opinion from, and they're like, yeah, CJ Stroud, he looked pretty good week 1. I disagree. Like, he didn't look all that good in week 1. Week 2,
no, I don't think he looked that great. Like, I wouldn't say he was great. I would say he was good to average, but he had a lot of yards because they were down by like.
Yeah, that's my whole thing. It's like people were saying like, oh, you have to commend him for throwing the ball that much because all the other rookies are not, asked to throw all that much. And I'm just like, down.
They're down because they suck, because they're awful. And I will say this, they do play hard. They're not getting blown out. Like, they are fighting their asses off in Houston. I still like what I see from D'Amico and CJ Stroud. like one, they can't run the ball at all,
Yeah.
which is kind of surprising. From last year, they were decent at it.
Yeah, most definitely. I think that's gonna do it, though, man. Did we get every game? Anything else?
We didn't talk
Oh,
really about Baltimore.
Baltimore and Cincinnati. Let's talk about this one because this one was a big game.
I
24 to
picked
20.
it.
Yeah, 24 to 27. Baltimore gets the dub. Cincinnati 0-2.
Are they playing for their season next week, Juan?
I think so. Who they play next week?
I'm not sure. I'll tell you right now. I got my laptop right here.
To me, man, we've seen this story last year. The 0-2 start from the Bengals. Burrow definitely looks.
The Rams. That's a nice one. That's
man.
a nice. That's a tricky game. But
it is.
Overall, they should win that game.
They should, but would they? Do you feel confident in the Bengals going forward? Or are you just sold on, like, you know what? No training camp basically for Burrow. Had the injury. They're a slow team from last year. They did the same fucking dance. Are you worried at all?
A little worried because Baltimore's 2-0. They have one on you. But if they lose this game, it's red alert. They've been a little out of sorts. They made a couple mistakes that they could have won that game. You know, it was definitely a step in the right direction. But with a team that has the pedigree of the Bengals, and people can say, what pedigree? They've been in the Final Four the last 2 years. That's impressive.
Yeah.
That is impressive. There's no doubt about that. They could have almost, and they were tight with Patrick Mahomes. So I have a lot of faith in the Bengals. I'm not ready to punt on the season. It's a very good matchup to go 1-2. I'm not worried. Let me rephrase. I'm worried. I'm slightly worried. I'm not full blown. Oh shit.
Yeah. And I'm on the same boat. I'm on the same boat with Cincinnati. I still think they're really talented. And Burrow doesn't scare me. I think they're just one of those teams that take a while to get going. And
So
I think
Juan,
go ahead.
oh, sorry, go ahead. Go ahead. I'm sorry that you were done. I have a question for you when you're done.
Joe Burrow's one of those guys that take a while to get going, and I have complete confidence in everyone on their team. Their defense is good. I trust Zach Taylor, Jamar Chase. Jamar Chase has had a rough 2 weeks because he has, like, there was this play that I seen in this game where they threw a back shoulder fade to him, and the cornerback, I think it was Marlon Humphrey or what's his name, the rookie from last year from Notre Dame, safety, Kyle Hamilton. Kyle Hamilton slammed his fucking ass down hard, and he wound up dropping the ball. I'm just like, okay, like that's a little alarming to see because Cincinnati is not the team to get punked. And Baltimore, I felt like at times during that game, they manhandled them. So that's
Baltimore is full of bullies, man.
Yeah.
Like straight.
Yeah. What were you gonna say?
One out of these 0-2 teams, the Vikings, the Bengals, the Chargers. What's your like panic level for each? Like Vikings and Chargers. Even if they weren't playing each other, I'd be like, I'm pretty worried. I'm really worried about what I've seen.
Most worried about the Vikings. Second worried about the Chargers. Bengals the least. That's my order.
I'm with you.
Yeah.
I'm with you. Exactly.
And the Chargers have room. The Chargers just have room to play with because I feel like, as crazy as it sounds, the AFC is kind of just weird right now, and they can afford a little bit of wiggle room with these losses, especially with Kansas City being 1-1. I mean, a lot of people, expected them to be 2-0, but
yeah, and you could make the case the Chargers have lost to a really good Dolphins team by a little,
yeah,
and lost to a very annoying Tennessee team by just a little. So
yeah, exactly. Last game, Max, quick thoughts. Carolina, New Orleans. Derek Carr gets it done. They're 2-0. Bryce Young, though, just they're not enough.
He's got a lot of growing to do, and it's not just him. The team around him's not that great. He's no one really to throw to. Doesn't really have a good old line, but he makes plays. You see the talent.
Yeah,
there's always flashes of it.
Yeah, the Munchkin.
They're gonna get them. Needs to learn. I can't run away like I did in college because Demario Davis was destroying him as my cat makes his appearance on the podcast.
The Munchkin's gonna get killed out there. They're gonna get him killed.
Oh my god. Yeah, there's like turnstiles.
Yeah, it's fucking crazy. I think that's gonna do it though, man. We hope you guys enjoyed the show. I know it was a long one, but we had 2 extra games. We did the Monday night games for you guys. Make sure to hit that subscribe button, hit that like button, comment down below any thoughts, opinions that you guys have about week 2. We will be back Thursday morning, Thursday afternoon around that time. We'll be recording the podcast Wednesday night, and we'll see you then. All right, Max, any last words?
I'm out, bro. Tired.
Yeah. Peace.